Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Good Morning Hebrew Home. I'm your host for Friday, Liisa Murray. Today is Friday, May 28th, and the weather for today is a little bit cooler than the past few days. We got some cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 66, with a high chance of rain in the evening. On this day in history, in 1923, the U.S. Attorney General says it is legal for women to wear trousers anywhere. Thank goodness, as I am wearing trousers today. In 1936, Alan Turing submits on computable numbers for publication, in which he set out the theoretical basis for modern computers. In 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco opens to vehicular traffic. In 1951, after going 0 for 12, Willie Mays connects for his first major league home run. And in 1952, the women of Greece are given the right to vote. In 1953, the premiere of the first animated 3D cartoon in color named Melody. In 1960, Green Willow closes at the Alvin Theater in New York City after 95 performances. In 1974, the 26th Emmy Awards, MASH, Alan Alda, and Mary Tyler Moore win, and the first daytime award presentation occurs, and the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman wins 5 awards, including Cicely Tyson for dramatic performance. In 1976, the 29th Cannes Film Festival, Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese, wins the Palme d'Or. And turning to famous birthdays today, in 1940, Betty Shabazz, American educator and civil rights activist who was the widow of Malcolm X, was born in Pinehurst, Georgia. In 1951, here's one more on this day in history. I missed it. In 1951, the Macy's Gimbels Price War, the 2 biggest retailers in New York City are planning to go head-to-head with an old-fashioned price war. Macy's, the world's largest department store, and Gimbels, who have said they will not be undersold. Macy's stated they would cut 6% off a quarter of its products throughout the store. Does anyone here remember that Macy's and Gimbels price war? I bet some of you do. Going back to famous birthdays, in 1968, Kylie Minogue, Australian pop star and singer, known for many hits, including Locomotion, born in Melbourne, Victoria. And on this day, Gladys Knight, in 1944, the famous Gladys Knight was born in Atlanta, Georgia. Gladys Knight is a popular R&B singer who has won 7 Grammys, had 6 #1 R&B albums, and had 11 #1 R&B singles. Her music career was at its most successful point during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and she began her career as part of the group, anyone know, say it with me, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and later gained recognition as a solo artist. Her most well-known songs include I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Midnight Train to Georgia, and That's What Friends Are For. Knight has also made several appearances in film and television, often playing herself. Gladys Knight and the Pips were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1996. So let's move on to birthdays today. In staff birthdays, Emily from security and our very own Allison from communications, who is off today, I hope, enjoying her birthday in some wonderful way. On Saturday, happy birthday to Faye from nursing, and Sunday, happy birthday to Celine and Minnie from nursing, Maria and Zamira from food service. In resident birthdays, today, happy birthday to Florence K. and Elsa M. And on Sunday, quite a few. Happy birthday to Jeanette R., Eva B., Seema F., and James H. A big happy birthday to all of you from all of us here at Good Morning Hebrew Home. So let's get right to what I consider to be one of the most important parts of the show, letting you know what the meals will be today and this weekend. So today's menu, the entree is cheese pizza with Israeli salad. The dessert is oatmeal cookies. Tonight, the soup is vegetable noodle. Entree is Greek chicken with broccoli orzo and fruit cocktail for dessert. Tomorrow, the lunch will be barbecue chicken, sweet potato, and green beans with peach mango applesauce for dessert. And dinner will be vegetable soup, bolognese lasagna, garlic bread knot, and lemon sorbet. Sounds pretty good. Sunday, the lunch will be meatballs with marinara sauce and spaghetti with broccoli florets and strawberry shortcake for dessert. Pretty good dessert. Dinner will be black bean soup, garden vegetable quiche, mixed greens with carrots and cabbage, and a fig cookie for dessert. Moving on over to our kosher menu for the weekend. Today's kosher lunch is garlic flounder, quinoa with edamame and Brussels sprouts, oatmeal cookies for dessert. Dinner will be chicken noodle soup, barbecue chicken, roasted potatoes, mushroom medley, and fruit cocktail. On Saturday, the kosher menu will be cholent, potato kugel, and peas for lunch with peach mango applesauce. Dinner will be lentil soup, baked ziti, broccoli, and rice pudding. And on Sunday, the kosher menu will be tomato and rice soup for lunch with meatloaf and roasted potatoes, brownies for dessert, and dinner will start with matzo ball soup, a classic among classics. Entree will be salmon burger with kasha and roasted green beans with fig cookie for dessert. So those are our meals. Now let's get to our positive news story for the day. Huge news, breaking news story. 100-year-old Galapagos giant tortoise found on Fernandina Island is indeed member of extinct species. So the high hopes of scientists who found a 100-year-old female giant tortoise on Fernandina Island in the Galapagos have been confirmed. Genetic tests have proven that it is a member of the species thought to have gone extinct more than a century ago. How crazy is that? Presumed to be lost for 112 years, the Galapagos Conservancy and the Galapagos National Park Directorate will urgently launch expeditions to find a mate for the female always give myself hard words to say, Chelonotus fantasticus, and save the species. It was earlier reported the discovery of the tortoise called Fern in 2019, while Yale University began conducting genetic analysis to determine the creature's exact species. Researchers had strong suspicions that it was Fernandina, so launched expeditions on the island to look for more members of her species. Soon afterward, park rangers reported sighting scat and tracks on the volcanic slopes, suggesting there could be more turtles around. If found, any remaining individuals will be immediately transported to the breeding center on Santa Cruz Island, where several species of the giant tortoises have been successfully bred back to stable population levels. One of the greatest mysteries in Galapagos has been the Fernandina Island giant tortoise. Rediscovering this lost species may have occurred just in the nick of time to save it. We now urgently need to complete the search of the island to find other tortoises, says Dr. James Gibbs, Vice President of Science and Conservation for the Galapagos Conservancy and a tortoise expert at the State University of New York. We desperately want to avoid the fate of Lonesome George, a tortoise that we've talked about, I believe Olivia talked about on a previous episode, said Danny Ruida Cordova, director of the Galapagos National Park Directorate, in a press release. My team from the Park and Galapagos Conservancy are planning a series of major expeditions to return to Fernandina Island to search for additional tortoises beginning this September. While one might think, what are you waiting until September for? The landscape of Fernandina is dominated by an active volcano and a hard volcanic landscape, making long-term exploration difficult. In fact, a January 2020 eruption delayed the first planned expedition to the island in the aftermath of Fern's discovery. Meanwhile, the Galapagos Conservancy have set up a fundraiser for 3 separate expeditions to the island, equipped with tortoise veterinarians and helicopters to scout from the air and transport any tortoises they find back to the breeding center. The previous president of the Galapagos Conservancy, Johanna Berry, last year admitted that the old female was thought to be a Fernandina tortoise just because she was found there, but doubts remained because sailors in the 19th and 20th centuries often moved tortoises around. She said, "I can understand why people are excited. It's either going to be, wow, it's a Fernandina tortoise, or wow, it's not," she sighed. Wow, it is. What a cool story. I think that's so exciting. I wonder where these tortoises have been hiding this whole time. And I wonder if we will find other secret tortoises on that island. Well, that's it for today's show. Tune in later today for Catholic services at 11:15 and Shabbat Shalom at 3 p.m. Today's Broadway matinee at 2 p.m. on Channel 88 is Springsteen on Broadway, starring, of course, Bruce Springsteen. If you missed any portion of today's show, it will be replayed on Channel 88 at 6:30, and you can find all of our episodes on YouTube. We here at Good Morning Hebrew Home wish you all a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here Monday morning.